We meet again, friends. We meet again. Whew. There's some news lately, there's some stuff going on. Things are happening. Not good things, but things are happening. The world is aflame. And here we are, just chilling. Living in the man cave. Dodging commitments. Dodging reality. 600,000 EXP. 600,000 EXP stands between me and pure bliss. Well, actually, there's quite a few things. I still need another farming level in 350k, because I want to have this at 99 so I can plant renars, but, you know, I'll fill the void of time with something. I always do. There will be something to do, but I have more than enough Dale. I have more than enough everything. I'm just going to majestically go and ride off into the 95 Wrathrune crafting future. Probably directly afterwards, I'm going to have to work on the Elite Lumbee. All I really need is the smithing. I'm still deciding, too, if I want to, what am I doing? If I want to spend my money, my 20 mil cash stack on the 99 construction with teaks, or if I just wanna get 91 fletching. I think 300,000 broad arrows is gonna be like 18 mil, so I should be good to just straight up get 91 fletching if I felt like it too. That knocks some more diaries out of the way, and I kind of want to really bang out diaries in the near future just to prepare for Slayer. Like, this 90 mage, can't get it. This is the fletching I was talking about. This is prayer. I can't get that until I start slaying Slayer. I'm never doing this. This, I just need 100 combat. This is basically done minus Slayer. This is done technically minus those 4 smithing levels. Prayer. This is basically done minus the cooking, but I'm fishing up a ton of Karami Wamis for that. I already have like 15,000, so I'm like halfway in there. I can finish fishing up the remainder of those at work, and then I don't think there's any other important stuff I have to do. So at that point, I'm free to level up Slayer and just skill when I feel like chilling. Not too far away from all of that good stuff. So let's see. Let's talk about... Oh, I know. Let's talk about the midlife crisis I must be having. I don't know. It kind of feels like it. Like I'm, vastly shaping up my life again. I feel like I do this every few years, but it's getting towards the middle of my life. So maybe now it's finally my frickin' crisis. Maybe now I've finally earned it, right? I'm 35, so I'm approaching the end of the road. The halfway point, probably. I don't plan to live too long, even a natural life beyond 70, so at that point, it just becomes a chore to keep going. You would only be going out of, like, spite, I feel like, at that point. Or some drive to, like, see the new future. Anytime anyone, like, dies before, they get old enough, or they commit harikari or something unfortunate like that, the big unfortunate. Seems like everyone always says, oh, they would have loved this Goy Slop entertainment. This Marvel movie would have been really nice. They would have loved that. And at least for me, I don't see it that way. If your life's existence boils down to how many Goy Slop feature films you might have potentially enjoyed, then it was probably for the best. Your suffering would have been immeasurable, and the pleasure attained from the random Western, basically awful pornography that they try and peddle out to people, just is not worth it. We'll keep it at that before I go off a little too hard. It's pretty funny. The entire Western comic book market, all of this adult shit that's aimed towards the soy jack crowd, we'll call them, gets outsold by a single Japanese manga called Demon Slayer. Like, Demon Slayer is literally more important than the entire Western market. Now, I'm not a big fan of Demon Slayer. I don't like shonen stuff. I like cute girls doing cute things personally, but, you know, I can understand the appeal. I've read a little bit about it. I haven't watched any of it or read the manga or anything like that, but, you know, it's such food for thought. Just eating it gets you the IQ points really rolling when you analyze that literally the entire Western market is that bad that a single series can outsell it. Now, it's a huge series, but still. It just boggles the old brain. Gets my noggin jogging, as you would, going down. But yeah, so midlife crisis. So I'm basically like shaping up my life in the future to kind of do whatever I want, do all the things I didn't do. Like I visit all the places I wanted to visit, make the kind of content I always wanted to make but was afraid of getting doxxed and all of that. One of my big goals too with this channel is to create a place for a bunch of edgy people to chill. I'm probably going to actually make it later on, but I definitely want like an edgy sad boys sort of organization to just shoot the S with and play some bidja games, just do crazy shenanigans, be up to no good on the internet. Getting old though, like, it's a hell of a drag, honestly. Like, when you talk about what happens as your body, like, crescendos out of your 20s into, you know, the repose of 30s, you'll notice that it stops repairing things. Like, before you get a scab, you get a cut, it's gone like the next day, or, you know, all of these things just instantly go away after a short while, but they just start lasting longer and longer. And like, you know, your faces or your bruises or like, just everything just feels slower, and it feels, you can literally feel it breaking down. Like, think about it this way. Every single breath you take, 50 of your cells die. They die. 50 cells gone, never to see the light of day again. Well, they never saw it, probably, but you get the picture. Yeah. So, every breath you take is literally killing you from the inside out. You're literally a machine that's breaking down. You're a computer that's gotten, like, cockroaches nested inside of it, and it's just one little crossed wire away from no longer functioning. And that's life. Life sucks, and then you die. But I don't mind. Even if I am on some nihilistic self-destructive path, which maybe I've been on all along, and all of this wealth and, you know, prosperity and everything decent that's happened is all just leading up to that, and that's fine as well, even if I'm driven to exit gracefully in other methods that I have complete control over, we'll say. That wouldn't be too bad either, especially if society goes halfway or all the way over. I want to make a community, though, that's more like the early internet. Like, a lot of you Zooms that might be watching this might not know about how amazing the internet used to be, and like how awesome stuff was way back at the start of it. Like, the early internet was absolutely phenomenal. I think a lot of it has to do with the tragedy of the commons, because back then on the early internet, being able to use a computer and navigate it, you know, was an IQ test. You needed to be above a certain threshold just to be able to function and get to the point where you could even, you know, properly use a computer without it breaking to the point of where you're, you know, pointless for you to even own one. And because that has sort of fallen away and fallen off, and now, you know, literally the average Zoomer doesn't even understand what their file system is, like how the data is even organized on your hard drive, or how a filing cabinet even works, probably. Like, an actual metallic file cabinet might be beyond them, and its relation to how their computer's set up. It's just crazy to me, at least, to think about that, and that's kind of what I would pick for the reason the internet has died. That and the dead internet theory. But, you know, I think the internet has fallen to the tragedy of the commons. I think, you know, less people on the internet, a more reclusive internet, a more restrained internet is the future, at least for, you know, people having fun. And when people are like lamenting, for instance, the right making their own internet and these guys making their own internet, I don't think it's a bad thing. I honestly think that's going to lead to a much higher quality internet for all people involved. One, because finding individuals with the same tastes and working together towards the same goals is going to only improve things. Yeah, that's the stuff, dude. Coffee, kohai, kafefi, as one would say. But, and especially with how polarized and how like almost civil war-ish the United States is right now, especially after the recent indictment of Trump, which I have my own thoughts and feelings on, but I probably can't say on the bloody tube. Besides like some random Skitzo post, that is what it is, but yeah. I imagine the future of the internet, at least if it breaks off and splinters, is going to be much better than it is currently. Especially if you have a section of internet that doesn't have as much AI or, well, let me explain the dead internet theory. So the dead internet theory basically is the analysis that, the total number of sites people visit these days has decreased substantially. The internet is basically controlled by 5 people, or 5 big businesses, and, almost all internet traffic goes through there, where if you look at internet back from, 2004, 2008, the good days, the internet was much more spread out amongst much different interests, and that's why like search engines back then worked a lot better. These days, because of AI, because of search engine optimization, it's actually really difficult to find anything new, and AI is like making articles constantly just to distract you and waste your time, basically. And because of all of those factors, it's making, the internet just much less usable and much less interesting, which is a sad consequence, but, it is inevitable with the way things are developing. Boop, boop, boop. Forgot to sippy. I really hate using those, but I don't think I have much of a choice unless I want to do Zaya for 500,000, and I don't feel like it right now. But yeah. So with the internet moving more towards AI and less actual interaction between people commences, the devastating effects of the quality of the internet are very obvious, with more people with worse opinions being allowed access to it. And, the fact that almost all of the internet conversations these days are bots. Like, just look at 4chan, for God's sakes. Certain boards, virtually everything is just bots and then paid shills, and it's really disgusting to read. And I mean, it does not take a genius to figure out which is which and what the game is. Like, these are not organic conversations that are happening between a lot of these things, especially the ones posting the same misspelled message in a billion different threads. And it's just so tiresome. Filters and all of that are not a solution because of AI and all the other plagues upon humanity that are coming out of it. But yeah, again, the solution is just to have, 4chans are using different chans that are less popular, where Soros' money can't get to, which is the true root of all evil in the world these days. At least I believe so. I'm naming him too. I've named him George Soros, the root of all evil. Uh-oh, he did it. But yeah, I'm a Jew. I get to make anti-Semitic remarks if I want. It is my birthright to be an anti-Semite. But yeah, so the solution to the dead internet and the quality of the internet decreasing is just have a small circle of people you really like interacting with, and, focus on getting that to happen. That's at least my goal, because I'm done interacting with people in the real world. I'm done, just doing everything. After, my quitting is done with my job, and after I have my final day there, I'm also never going to contribute to this society again. After the arrest of Donald Trump, we're in Banana Republic territory here in the United States, and you're denying reality if you argue otherwise, no matter which side you are on. You can see this is a miscarriage of justice, and it's actually silly, the indictment of Trump. It's not going anywhere, but some people are still cheering because they like, it on an ideological level and not on a practical level. And all I pray for is that the conservatives man up and start using the same tactics against the left. The only way they make this disappear is by hitting them hard where it hurts. It's by, literally throwing their judges in jail for nothing, getting the Soros money out of the system, using, the president has the capability to literally murder anyone he suspects as being a terrorist. There's no reason, if Trump gets reelected, that he just shouldn't start using that power to take out some of these elected officials that are basically terrorizing the United States. I know he won't, and I know the conservative cucks will never do something like that, but the Democrats are basically already there as far as, corruption and abuse of power. There's no reason not to escalate things, at least to a civil war level. And I just hope we do it before they do. There's nothing really else to be said about that. We either need to make the other side actually afraid again, or they're just going to keep pushing. It's not like they're going to stop. They've been given no resistance to their silly ideology for so long. Someone with power has to actually start doing, awful things. It's sad to say, but, it's a culture war for a reason. Bad things happen in wars. You could very easily argue for, throwing all sorts of people in jail for silly reasons, like Nancy Pelosi insider trading, Joe and his son Hunter Biden for their whole fiasco, Hillary Clinton's emails, the reason I can't imagine she not getting indicted with what they've indicted Trump with, and just start hitting, randomly throw AOC in for terrorism, just stuff to make them mad. In reality, it's all political anyways, and there's no reason not to poison the well of democracy at this point. The only thing that can bring back, the state would be watering the tree of liberty with blood. And that's a sad thing to say, and it's probably not going to happen. There's a 99% chance this isn't going to happen, and there's only a few select individuals that can even be in the position of power to do something like that, and the risk to them would be immense as well. But, no one wants to be the guy that starts the next civil war, but that's also why the next civil war is probably inevitable in the United States. There will be some sort of violent armed conflict soon. However it starts, I can't figure out, but I also saw Donald Trump getting murdered in a Skitzo dream in his cell after he was indicted. And then that being used as a pretext for World War III, and them trying to cover it up and draft everyone and get all the people in a fighting mood and try and turn that sentiment into a patriotic sentiment. I'm not sure if they're going to do something like that, obviously, but it would certainly be very interesting if they tried. But yeah, I'm just going to sit on the sidelines, probably leave the country. I'm never giving America tax dollars again at this point. I simply refuse. I'll probably renounce my citizenship at some point if I find a place I like better. I hope I do in Southeast Asia. I hope I find somewhere where I want to settle down there and just have a nice, relaxing end of my few days, on a beach somewhere, just chilling, playing my medieval clicking simulator or whatever. Maybe good games will come out someday again too, but I'm also not really counting on that. One can hope, but I have strong feelings that hope will be folly. The people that design games these days are not the people that know how to make good games, and it's, I hate to sound corny, but it is in fact by design that, this ideology it's at the root of everything is also the thing poisoning the same well. What a depressing series of events, and I have messed up my run energy. How atrocious. How many do I have left today? I have 1 left. I need to stop screwing up. I also need to buy my battle stabs before too long, but yeah. I like the rain though. I really like the rain ambience. It just doesn't go well with this whole fiery thing, but at the same time it's so soothing, especially when I'm feeling the need for soothment. Also, I don't advocate for violence or anything like that, or political prosecutions before someone flips me out of context or something, even though I doubt anyone would or anyone cares, but it's nice to think about that at least. I just NPC contacted, why am I doing it again? But yeah, So that's probably how I intend to spend most of my remaining days. And I don't know what my midlife crisis will look like, if I actually have one again at 40 or not, or if this gets to be my final midlife crisis. Maybe I'll have like a quarter life crisis or a end of days crisis. Maybe I'll have a Richard Dawkins afraid to trash talk people in the end kind of crisis, or who knows. Who knows, but we live in interesting times these days. Very interesting times, and whatever is going to happen, it's going to be horrific, and I am fully looking forward to man-made horrors beyond my comprehension. And no matter what, if they try and draft you, do not die. Like, I'd rather take an American bullet than a Russian one at this point, or a Chinese one. At least then I'd be doing something positive in the world. America deserves to fall anyways for the kind of stuff we've pulled in the last couple of decades. I don't agree with Noam Chomsky on much because he's a deranged leftist, but he definitely had it right when he said America is the #1 terrorist in the world. And those chickens are going to come home to roost. I hope, the next rulers of the world treat us better than we've treated the world. I'm not counting on it, but yeah. Well, that is that anyways. But you guys have a chill day and a relaxing time. I am excited for 95 rune crafting.